Good morning, everyone. All here on time. Hi, Jacob.
Hello, my friend Michelle. How are you?
It's good. Long time no see.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. Looks like we have what, 13 people, some of whom are AI note takers.
I heard that this is the case these days
Yeah,
with
usually
webinars.
usually usually I'm pretty good at booting out the note takers. But a couple of them sneak through. We'll give folks maybe 3 more minutes to join.
You live in Nova, right?
I live on Potrero Hill. I just happened to be walking around there when I ran into you. Yeah.
Same. I don't live in Nova, but just ran into you.
For the folks that are joining now, if you could just quickly share in the chat like your role and your company, that would be really helpful so we can make sure to tune the content like as specifically as possible to your needs. And also note if you currently do any account-based marketing or if you're just curious about it as a concept for the future. And one quick question, Michelle, are you recording this? It looks like I don't have permission to hit record, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of people who want to watch afterwards.
Yeah, it's currently being recorded. I got
Great.
it. I find Renee's reply is very relatable. One woman marketing band.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's me and that's also you.
That's true. That's true. There's no one else on marketing on my team. All right, I
Okay.
think we could probably
I
get
think I think
started.
that's quorum. Let's kick it off.
Incredible. So I have some slides to guide us. So welcome everyone to the AI-powered ABM webinar hosted by Flint and Relay. The agenda for today is that we're going to do some brief intros, but the bulk of today is going to be live demos. Jacob and I are going to be going through our setups and showing you how we do account-based marketing and how you can use AI to power your ABM pages. Then we'll leave some time at the back for any kinds of Q&A, and then we talk about next steps. So some brief intros. So myself, I'm Michelle. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Flint. Flint is a startup that creates on-brand landing pages for every ad and every customer. We take your website and then we copy its design system and help you generate landing pages for ads as well as account-based marketing. We support companies like Cognition and Windsurf, 11x, and have shown to double conversions for our customers. And Jacob,
And
you
I'm
want to
Jacob.
introduce yourself?
I'm the founder and CEO of Relay.app. I recognize a bunch of you. Relay.app is a platform that you can use to create your own AI agents and automations. And in this session, we're going to show you how you can do something really simple in Relay as kind of a build from scratch format. And then Michelle's going to show you the more advanced stuff that she's actually built that collects not just Relay to Flint, but also I think you're going to show a demo of Clay and Flint
Clay,
Connect
yeah,
to kind of to round out your full ABM setup.
that's right. And Jacob and I have known each other for years
A
through,
while now, yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And
startup
now we're both
ecosystem.
founders, which is exciting.
Yeah. All right. So the first demo is going to be from Jacob.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you a demo that's a little bit simplistic and contrived, but it'll kind of get you going in the right direction to how to think about setting up an ABM agent. So first, this is my Relay.app dashboard. You can see all of my agents. I have a personal assistant, a LinkedIn marketer, an email marketer, a Reddit marketer, an AEO marketer, a YouTube producer, a competitive analyst, a business analyst, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And today we're going to build an ABM marketer. And to start to create a new agent, just like if you were hiring a new employee on your team, you start with a job title and then a very brief description of what you would want that agent to do for you. So in this case, I'm going to click design my own. I'm going to say ABM marketer, and I'm going to say that its job is to create personalized campaigns for key decision makers. And for those of you who are not familiar with ABM or account-based marketing, the idea is that in account-based marketing, instead of casting a very wide net that tries to catch every possible customer who might fit our target criteria, in account-based marketing, we have a specific human that we want to be a customer of our company, and we want to design a marketing campaign specifically for that. It could be for the company as a whole or for a specific decision maker within the company. So ABM techniques I've heard people use in the past are things like I bought a billboard right in front of their office so they would all see it when they left every day. Or I knew the CEO loved pickleball, so I bought him a custom pickleball racket and I got it signed by some famous pickleball player. Like these are all the kinds of creative, clever ABM techniques that you'll see people use. The most common ABM technique, which is what Michelle is going to show, is that you create a dedicated, personalized landing page and experience that speaks exactly to the needs and the pain points of that customer. But I'm going to show you how kind of you can set up a broader architecture where you let your ABM marketer be a little bit creative about what kind of strategies may work. Okay, so once I've given it a job title and a brief job description, I need to give my ABM marketer access to the tools it needs. Now we use HubSpot and Airtable for our kind of combined CRM and business intelligence platform. And then I want my ABM marketer to communicate with me in Slack. I'll hit next. So now what my ABM marketer is going to do is it's going to suggest workflows that it can do for me on a repeated basis that will meet the goals I set out. So you can see it has some ideas like when a new content is added in HubSpot, generalize a personalized campaign message. When a new decision maker, identify the sales team with personalized talking points. In this case, I'm going to set up my own. So I'm going to say when a new customer or when a new customer is added in Airtable, look up their founder CEO. Let's say that's the persona I'm targeting, the founder CEO. Find their LinkedIn profile and recent posts. Use AI to come up with three clever personalized ABM techniques to reach them and send those to the hashtag sales channel in Slack. So the idea here is that the workflow is going to run automatically whenever a new customer is logged in Airtable. It's going to do some creative research on LinkedIn on the web, and then it's going to send those ideas to me in Slack. So for example, if there's any public information about Michelle loving pickleball, it may send me a creative idea that's like you should set up a tournament, a pickleball tournament, and invite Michelle. So when the agent is setting up workflows, if you've used Relay.app, you've experienced this before, it asks you clarification questions when it's not sure what to do. So in this case, it's saying you've got a bunch of Airtable tables, like where do your customers live, and they live in this customers table. And then this one, it probably should have figured out that because I literally wrote the exact channel name, but I'm just going to confirm that it's the hashtag sales channel. So now you can see that the agent has created a plan for how it wants to construct the flowchart of this workflow. It's going to trigger when a new record is added in Airtable. It's going to look up the founder CEO profile on LinkedIn. It's going to look up their recent posts once it can find their profile, and then it's going to use an ABM step to generate an AI step to generate those ABM techniques, and then it's going to send it to me in Slack. So it says it's got everything it needs, and you can see now on the right-hand side of the screen, it's building out the flow chart. Oh, sorry, page reload needed. I need to file a bug for that. I've run into that a couple times today. Let me just quickly revisit the questions I asked. I answered it. I answered to it. And there we go. It looks like it pretty much finished the workflow. So I can see that it's going to trigger whenever a new record is added to the customers table. It's going to find the CEO or founder on LinkedIn. It's going to find their recent posts. Oh gosh, it got super confused. Sorry about that. Let me well, I'll debug this later. For now, I'll just clear it out and say new conversation. You've made a broken workflow. Please fix it. When in doubt, you can always talk to your AI as if it's a person. So I'm hoping it's going to notice that it duplicated a bunch of stuff here and can fix it. Ah, yes, the workflow has duplicate steps. There we go. So now it,
Great.
it trimmed it trimmed it back down to what I wanted. So what I always like to do when I have my agent create a flowchart for me like this is I like to just quickly, even though I don't
Mm.
typically manipulate the flowchart directly in the workflow builder, you can if you want. I typically don't. I just like to double check that it's doing everything right. Okay, so when a new record is added to customers, it's going to look up the CEO on LinkedIn. It's going to find their recent LinkedIn posts. It's going to generate a set of 2 to 3 ABM techniques, and then it's going to send it to the sales channel. So now I'm sure it's not going to work the first time. These things never work the first time. So I'm going to test it and see what doesn't work. So let's I want to actually pick Flint. So let me
Do
actually
it.
say for testing, I want to use the domain. It's tryflint.com, right, Michelle?
That's right.
Can you filter to just that?
I think I'm one of your top power users.
You're up there. We get a daily summary of like the top 10 users, and you've definitely appeared a couple times in the last month.
Yay.
Okay, so now what it should do is add a add a filter to the trigger um, to filter down to just customers whose domain matches tryflint.com. Let me just say, just to clarify, add a trigger filter uh, for domain matches tryflint.com. There we go. You can see it added the filter domain is tryflint.com. Okay, now let's test it and see how well this works for Michelle. There we go. And so now as it's running, I can see what goes on. And as you see, it found no profile for CEO of tryflint.com. So I'm going to say, hmm, looks like in the recent run, it failed to find a LinkedIn profile for the CEO of tryflint.com. Can we try a different approach? It's going to now suggest other ways that it could find the LinkedIn profile. And I'm going to say, let's use AI to do the research first. That way we can do the kind of the general AI search at the beginning, and then we can drill into the LinkedIn profile afterwards, which I think is a good modification.
Now I'm worried I have bad SEO.
I mean, LinkedIn search is its own animal.
Yeah.
Okay, so perfect. Now it's going to research you with AI first. Then it's going to try to find your LinkedIn posts, and then it's going to generate the ABM techniques. Okay, let's test it again. Here it goes. We can we can watch it run. So it's now researching the CEO and founder of tryflint.com. And let me just check the chat to see if there are any questions as we're going here.
No
Feel free to
questions so
ask
far.
any. Okay, feel free to ask any questions in the chat. So you can see that the prompt it put in. Okay, there we go. Is that you,
Oh,
Michelle?
nice. That's me.
There we go. Okay, so now this alternative approach successfully found you. It found your recent 5 LinkedIn posts, and it's now generating some ABM techniques for us to sell to you.
I'm ready to buy.
Okay, so let's see what it found for you. Send Michelle a short custom teardown showing how you could help Flint operationalize the exact insight from her post that teams who invited teammates had 7x conversion rates. Frame it as a collaborative growth memo for Flint's Funnel. Okay. Claude task in a box for Flint. Authority engine benchmark brief. Okay, these are okay, but they're not like as creative as I might like. And so I'm gonna go back and say, come up with really creative ideas, like real world stuff or capitalizing on personal interests. And so this is the way you're going to interact with your ABM agent. It's just like you'd interact with a teammate who's doing it. That once you've made sure the mechanics work, like, yeah, they're going to detect new customers, they're going to find the LinkedIn profile correctly. You can just give them feedback just like you would with a human. Like, yeah, those ideas are okay, but they're a little bit lame. I want like more creative, more personalized, more real world ideas. And then you'll just keep going through this iterative process of testing and evaluating. And then once you're confident it works well, you're going to turn it on. And then you can see that your ABM marketer has one skill, which is a personalized ABM Intel notifier. And then eventually you'll give your ABM marketers other skills, which is a perfect time to transition over to Michelle, where she can show the real thing that she's built to do ABM for their prospects.
Yeah, so before going to my relay setup, I want to show you how you can use ABM within Flint itself.
Yep.
So let me screen share and just share a little bit more about Flint, and then I'll get to the ABM part really quickly. So, Flint helps you make perfect landing pages based on the brand of your website. So, how it works is that you first have to sign up with Flint, and then we'll copy over your design system from your Webflow, your Framer, or your Contentful site. And now everything becomes code that you can directly edit. You can ask it to design new things. You can ask it to add an ROI calculator, and Flink got you. So now, imagine you're this company and you are trying to create personalized landing pages for 5 of your customers. So prior to this, I had done a bunch of account research, and let me show you what an example account list could look like. So perhaps I might be interested in selling to these 5 companies specifically, and they have and each of them is in an industry with the company size, and then I have specific use cases I want to highlight to each of these customers. So now I'm going to upload this CSV into Flint, and I'm going to ask Flint to create account-based marketing pages. So over here in the chat, you can think of this AI agent again like as your designer or your engineer who can start building you pages. I'm going to drag and drop that spreadsheet that I just showed you, and I'm going to tell the AI, create me an account-based marketing page for every account in this spreadsheet. And I'm going to click enter. And now Flint goes ahead and starts building the pages. Under the hood, this is running Claude. This is using Flint is a good way of using Claude, but for your marketing website. And because everything here that you're seeing is fully code, Flink can start coding up completely new components or reusing some of the code that you already have built in Flint. So here it's actually exploring the code base and understanding, how we can use some of your on-brand components. It was able to find that there was actually already an ABM template, and so it's going to reuse that. It's understood that there were 5 customers that we were writing pages for, and it's created a little to-do list to work on. While it's loading, I'm gonna show you a tour of the platform. You can see that we have created a lot of pages for this company, Ranchi. So this is an example page that Flynn was able to create for comparison pages. And we have helped companies rank #1 for a lot of SEO and AEO queries.
And that CSV, how did you make that CSV originally? Or are you going to cover that later? For now, initially, did you just make that manually?
I'll show you how I can create that in Clay.
Cool. Oh yeah, we have a question in the chat. Can you show the CSV again to remind us
Oh,
what's in it?
yeah. So this is an account list that you can create within your outbound tools like Clay. So you might say like, oh, I want to hit these 5 companies, and then these could autofill.
Got it. And this does some intelligent mapping between what you've listed as your value props and how that matches their business.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You can also ask Claude Code to generate something like this, where you can ask it to come up with a spreadsheet for, these 5 accounts and scan your website and ask and list down specific value props for each customer and then print it out as a CSV. We've also had other customers create almost like a solutions library in Airtable, where they have the best value props for every industry and every persona. And then from there, whenever they add a new customer they want to sell to, they have an agent that will first scan through their solutions library to find the best case studies and then put it into a spreadsheet. But I'm going to show you how to create this later in Clay. Oh, it looks like it's done. Okay, let's go back. Okay, it's created a page for each of these companies. And now it's actually going to go validate to make sure that everything works. So when you're trying AI tools, a lot of times you might run into errors. So Flint actually auto heals those errors and makes sure that the pages work before we show them to you. All right. I love a checked off to-do list. Okay, let's check it out. All right, so the first one is service experts. And in this case, we want to be focusing on 24/7 call handling and autonomous job booking. So it's creator one to sell to service experts. And it talks about how the AI assistant can answer every call for service experts. There we go, autonomous job booking. That was in the CSV, up and running across all locations. Let's go check out Serve Pro, answer every emergency call instantly. Restoration companies are winning more jobs. So it pulled all the testimonials that are relevant to this customer because Flint has context over your case studies and your testimonials. And it even came out with FAQs.
So Michelle, we have a couple questions in the chat. I tried to answer one and I didn't even attempt to answer the second one. I'll give it to you. The first question is from Tony, which is from a use case perspective, how does this work with the existing website? Like, what does the target customer see versus the public website? And my response to that, which I'm curious if you have a different perspective, is that in general, these ABM pages are accessed via specific campaign, like a specific ad campaign or a specific outreach campaign. So a user will directly click and say, ah, they made this page for me. It probably will not be browsable for like a random person on your website to run into. Is that the best practice, Michelle?
Yeah, you don't want anyone else other than your target account finding this website. So let me give you an example. So, for example, I found this link that Glean uses to sell to Bank of America. This page is not available online. Like, as in, no one can find this on through search. They can only find this if you find a very specific URL of I'm not going to tell you the URL, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
only accessible by by people who receive the email or receive the campaign. So how it will work together with Flint or any kind of ABM provider is typically you would continue using your main CMS like Webflow or Contentful, Sanity, and that will be for your homepage. And then for all kinds of account-based marketing pages, that's actually hosted and managed in a different landing page platform. And then you would usually host it on a subdomain. So you might say like you want to say to store it in accounts.yoursite.com. But all of the tracking would still work because you're in the same domain and you're going to be using the same analytics. So typically, companies will include Google Tag Manager as well as their ABM tracking scripts like Qualified in your ABM page. So this way, you can not only track who's visiting and who's converting on your pages, but you can also track the visitors from your ABM page back into your main website. So you can still track the user journeys that way. Let me see if there are any other questions.
Yeah, the other question was from Andrew. Does Flint have customizable templates relevant for different types of product or service? For example, a services agency.
We don't have design templates, but what we do have is um, we can bring in your design system. So if you already have a website, we can bring that in. So let me show you some examples. So this is a website. Oh, hold on, not this one. This right here is like a website that is hosted on Framer. And then what Flint did is that we brought this into Flint, and then we're able to create a Google ad landing page that has almost the same design system. So the step one is like, let's bring in the design system. And then let's say you do have like a layout of ABM page that you are very excited by, you can actually bring that into the Flint agent and say, given this design system, can you rebuild this page to fit this format where there's a hero at the top, where there's a testimonial below, and so on. Did we answer all the questions?
Yeah, let's move on.
Awesome.
Really cool.
Okay, so a lot of questions about the CSV. Let me show you how you can build a CSV like that. Are folks here familiar with Clay? It's
I'm guessing people are have heard of it. Maybe they've used it, but give a quick overview.
yeah, so it's enrichment tool that allows you to put in leads that you're interested in reaching out to, and then they can help you find the email address and also like firmographic information about your leads, and then help you send outbound campaigns at scale. So, for example, maybe I'm really interested in selling to Relay.app. Then I would put in Relay.app, and then Clay would actually go and automatically find the company and then do research on the company and tell me all about, who I should target, what's the size of the company, what are like the best use cases for me to sell to this company. And then you can also trigger a workflow, like in this case, Flint is going to be, it's triggering Flint to create a new landing page based on the details that we've found from Clay. It's going to take a while, but let me show you what happens when it's done. So once the research is done by Clay, and then Clay sends that research into Flint, you can see here that we have auto-filled. Let me show you this. We have put in the variable here of like what is the output from the Flint page, and it auto-fills an email. So now when you're doing outbound to Notion, imagine instead of just sending them an email saying why Notion should be using your tool, imagine if you could have a landing page. So let me copy this um, and showcase what it looks like. So this is a page that was completely built from the Clay table, where every row triggered a creation of a landing page, including the account research for Notion. So if you have, like an account list of accounts that you want to target, you will throw them into Clay, and then have Clay call Flint, and then you end up having a lot of these outbound emails. I'm gonna try and see if there are any other questions.
Michelle,
Yeah,
I
there are
have
actually
a few questions.
a bunch that have come in the chat, starting with Alex's. Would we be able to tell the Flint agent to update copy on an L landing page based on the user that hits the page? So let's say we use Warmly to de-anonymize someone and that gets pushed to HubSpot, which we can connect to Flint. Can Flint say, I know this person is from Bank of America, show them Bank of America specific copy?
Oh yeah, we can definitely do that. So it will be through an integration with Clearbit Reveal. So essentially like you want to put in a script into Flint. You tell the Flint agent, hey, can you please install Clearbit Review? And then based on the company name, please change the page to be the right content. And so what happens is that whenever the page loads, it will run the script, it will figure out which company the person is from, and then it will switch the content. So it is possible. How do you make sure that the design system is pixel perfect? It is mostly AI right now. So we have a onboarding process where we have a team of AI agents actually rebuild your website from scratch in code. And then we have another team of AI agents that actually checks every pixel to make sure that what we created is the same as what your website was. What if you wanted to change the copy or change one of the sections or a photo? Yeah, this is a really good question. So everything that you see here is actually editable. So maybe I might say customers reach out via WhatsApp. You know, Renchi handles all WhatsApp questions simultaneously with zero wait times, so you can increase your revenue. And then click Save. As for images, it's also WYSIWYG. So in this case, if I don't want to use this image, I can click here. And when we do an onboarding of your website into Flint, we actually also imported your asset library. So these are all the images that we were able to find, and you can also upload new ones. So perhaps in this case, I might change it with this photo, select it, and click Save. All right. Um, Now let me show you the next demo, which is going to be about how we can use Flint and Relay together. So it's a better together story. So
Yeah, and there's a bunch more questions on that, but maybe we can hold those to the end for Q&A. You can just get through the last demo quickly, and then we should still have 15 minutes left for questions at the end.
yeah, let me show it really quickly. Okay. So this right here is my one of my Relay workflows. So it's very familiar UI compared to what you saw with Jacob. So this is a workflow that I created such that every sales call that I do will send a message to my Slack channel, but it will also create me a personalized landing page that I can use as a follow-up to my sales call. So I first start off with a trigger, which is a call recording being received. So this comes in from my call recording service. Then it starts extracting the transcript, and then it classifies whether or not it's a sales call. Then it actually sends HTTP request to Flint's API. Oh, okay. We need to change that token because I just screenshot it. Then once it is done, we will create a page and then send that ABM result to Slack. So every day after every sales call, I can send my prospects a personalized landing page. Let me show you some examples of things that were created recently. So this is an example of a page from Flint's website that was created from my sales call. So this is a company we were selling to that is working on selling to Fortune 500 prospects in terms of um, the CFO. And for them specifically, they actually, this is kind of meta, but they want to use Flint for account-based marketing pages as well. And so we focused on ABM pages. Whereas another company I have been chatting with, for them, their main use case is about Google Ads. So it started building a page that was for how you can create a page for every Google Ads campaign, how we can make sure we match the brand, how do we make sure that it is infrastructure that's agency grade. And then we sell it to them in terms of what it's like for them to serve multiple clients. And it also answered a lot of the questions that they had in the call. Actually, after this webinar, we'll probably also have a landing page generated based on this workflow. Okay, I think that's the end of my whirlwind demos. Let's get into questions. And then after that, would love to talk through the next steps.
Great. So I think you answered the question about how do you make sure the design system is pixel perfect. Next question, what if you want to change the copy or change one of the sections or a photo?
Oh yeah, I think I just answered that too.
Okay,
You
cool.
can click.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I see that Flint monitors your market trends and sales calls to automatically build pages for you. How does this work? Does it assume that the customer would upload transcript for the sales calls? I think that's the workflow you just showed, right? Where
Yeah,
when a
yeah.
sales
You
call
gotta use
ends,
Relay.
it gets transformed and then uploaded to Flint via the API.
Yeah,
Madison
so
recommends check. Oh, go ahead, Michelle.
oh yeah, so that's the sales call piece. So like so we have a relay that will ingest sales calls to come up with new pages. But for market trends, you can also imagine a workflow where you have it use relay to pull your competitive research every morning. And then based on the competitive research, you can tell Flint to update your comparison pages. So for example, one of our customers is Windsurf. And it's very important for them to keep windsurf versus cursor page updated. So if you could have a relay that reads the news of cursor every day, you can then go ahead and have Flint update those pages automatically. BW. Okay. Many companies are targeting multiple personas. Yeah, you would create within the same company, you would create multiple roles in Clay and you have a different page for each persona. So like something like Flint, for example, we sell to marketing teams, we also sell to account executives, and we sell to marketing operations. And so imagine having like three roles per company instead of just the one. Does Flint have any integration with CRM? We currently don't have a direct integration. Um, and this is where Relay comes in, or you could also use Cloud Code or any kind of apps that have a MCP connector. And you can have, say, like if you created a relay, you could have a HubSpot record change trigger an update to your Flint pages. I wonder maybe we can show like a brief demo live on how we can do that. What do you think, Jacob? Should we do it?
Let's get through the questions first, and then if we have time, we'll do the
Yeah.
last demo. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you'll need to have a subscription to Clearbit Review or any other kinds of website de-anonymization service. Does does Flint support internationalization for generated LPs? This is a very good question. We do. So I want to show you an example. So this is a page that was generated by our customer Amigo, and one big part of their ABM strategy is to go to conferences. And one big conference they're going to is in Saudi Arabia. So it was very important to them to not only have a page for the conference, and this is a page completely built in Flint, but they also needed to make sure that they were able to change the language into Arabic. So they asked Flint to create a Arabic version of the website, and this is what came out. This is a very good example because it shows how we also support right to left languages. Can it ingest WordPress sites? Yes, it can.
So I think that's the end of the questions. Maybe now I can quickly show the demo of how, because I built my flow starting with a CRM, like with when a customer record comes up in HubSpot, in Airtable in my case, we could look it up in HubSpot. And so let me just quickly show how you would extend that to then connect it with Flint. Feel free to ask other questions while I'm showing this.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where we ended off. When a new customer is added to Airtable, we research the person, get their LinkedIn posts, generate the ABM techniques, and send it to sales. Now, let's say I want to do two more things. I want to look up that customer in my HubSpot to get any other information about interactions I've had with them. And then I want to create a custom landing page with Flint. Let me show you how to do that. So I'm going to say, let's make this a bit more powerful. Let's look up this customer in HubSpot to get, then let's automatically create a landing page using Flint. And then uh, I'll explain how we're going to do that, which is, as Michelle showed, a custom HTTP request where you're going to need to put in. I'm not going to put in like an actual Flint API key and stuff now, but that's how you would do it. HTTP request. So this is going to lay out the basic architecture for doing a CRM lookup and then initiating a request to Flint. And then if you become a Flint customer and you have a Flint API key, then you would just tell the Relay.app assistant, here's my Flint API key and here's the information I need to send it when creating a new landing page. And then it'll automatically concoct that from the data you have in your CRM, from what you've looked up on LinkedIn, from the web research that you've done. And then you can always, one thing that I would recommend is I don't know if you had this in your flow actually, Michelle, like before sending it to Flint, do some sort of human in the loop double check to make sure the content looks good, or you can double check it directly on the Flint side before you hit publish.
Yeah, so we have both. We would when the Flint API is done, it actually sends back two links. One link is the preview link, and another link is the link to edit the page. Then you will use that second link to go into Flint to edit the page and then go and publish it within Flint.
Yeah, I definitely recommend having a human in the loop, at least initially in these uses. So yeah, what it's asking me is like, what's the Flint site ID? What's the Flint API key? And then it's going to add another AI step to do the prompt. So that's how if there's anything, one of the reasons we want to do this demo together is that if you want to use Flint and you need to connect it to any tools that it's not natively connected to, like your meeting transcripts or your CRM or whatever, you can use Relay easily as that bridge that will automatically create or update the right Flint content based on market
Oh,
activities, and you want to make good landing pages, you can use Flint to do so. All right. I think my internet might have cut out there for a second. Can everyone hear me okay?
yeah, so you caught up, but then like it like sped up and gave us the audio back. So we're all
Okay,
good.
cool. It made me even faster. Okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, Michelle, I'll turn it over to you to close us out.
Yeah, it looks like there's a question from Laurie about whether it can ingest WordPress sites, and yes, we can. So Flint's magic sauce is that we can take any homepage on the internet and turn it into Flint pages. I'm curious if people here use Claude Code or Claude Cowork at all for their workflows.
I personally use Claude Cowork heavily.
Mhm.
The I'm actually gonna do teaser. I'm gonna do a session next week where I'm gonna show what I use Claude on web for, what I use Claude Cowork for, and what I use Relay.app for, because there are kind of different use cases that make sense in each of those platforms.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So one other way, if let's say you have a lot of like these inputs from like your CRM and from like your Claude sessions, is that you can also call Flint from within Claude Code or Claude. So you might say like, hey, can you look through these PowerPoints, look through these CRM records, and then can you go create a Flint page? And then Claude Code will call Flint, make the pages for you. And then while Jacob was talking, I actually issued a command to Flint to answer one of your questions, which is, can we internationalize websites? So I said, yes, I want to internationalize this page to Russian, and it got it done. So this is now completely in Russian. So let me close things out. Today, we created an ABM agent in Relay. We also created ABM pages within Flint. And then we saw how we can create Flint pages using Relay, and that helps you connect your CRM records and your sales calls into Flint. We also show you how you can use Flint and Clay together to do both account research and then create a page for outbounding prospects. And I want to share a little bit more about our Flint API. So our Flint API is available in beta, and people in this webinar will have early access to it. And I will send you all the link to sign up for the beta access. And what Flint API gives you is that you can use your favorite tools like Clay or Claude Code to create pages, such as these three. And you can also use it within Relay. So you can have Flynn create pages based on every sales call that you have. I'm going to send you the webinar recording after this call and also this link for everyone who is interested to sign up for early access to the Flint API. So hold on. Need to copy this link. I think I definitely misspelled it. Give me a second. API. Okay, I'm gonna drop in the link over here. So this is how you can sign up for the API early. All right. Well, thank you all for coming. This was really fun, Jacob.
Yeah, thanks all for joining. Thanks, Michelle, for those great demos. If anyone has any questions, my email is jacob@relay.app, and Michelle will send out the follow-up email with the recording. And so I hope you all try some crazy creative ABM strategies, and hopefully you can automate some of them with either Relay or Flint or both. And we're here to help anytime.
Yeah, happy to come and jump on calls with people to help you set up the API and all that. Just let me
All
know.
right. Thanks so
All
much,
right,
everyone.
thank
Have
you
a great
all.
Thursday. Yeah, bye.
Bye.